I have a very simple relationship with the track in Barcelona. I love it, but it hates me. Back when F1 was just a daydream for me, I drove my very first laps in European racing only a few hundred miles from this track, but ever since, whenever I race in Catalunya, I find myself at the back of the pack. I love the flow of the corners, the constant battle for grip, but I guess that love is a one-way street.
Hi, I've got something you'll be interested in. Those performance upgrades we discussed after the last race. They're on the car and the data looks promising. Take a look at the details.
Well, I doubt this will save us, but every little bit helps, I guess. Lots of other teams brought upgrade packages to the first European race, so now we're way behind Williams and STR, and McLaren is seriously breathing down our neck. There is a bright side, though, for me at least. With Monaco about 2 weeks away, there's a lot of planning being done for a big sponsor event there, and just yesterday I got this email from Gunther himself telling me to suit up for it. Now, that's weird because I know for a fact that Esteban was being briefed on that event just last week, so I asked Gunther if there was some sort of mix-up, and he gives me just this one sentence. No mix-up, people want to see you up there more. Yikes. So, I'd say bring on Monaco, but we still have to survive Spain first. There is no denying it. I do not feel very fast. On mediums, I'm slower than McLaren's on hards. I'm just hoping that this will turn out a bit like Russia, where we can gain a good bit of pace over the course of the weekend. Now, I know this is a tire-intensive circuit, but it doesn't look like I can maintain any sort of pace without destroying my tires. So either we have horrible wear, which impacts our pace, or we have horrible pace, which makes it necessary to push harder, which impacts the wear. Either way, I'm screwed on both fronts. It seriously feels like I'm putting together great laps, but I just cannot for the life of me produce anything decent time-wise. This isn't like Australia where there's a glimmer of hope for a decent qualifying. There's just no chance here.
We haven't hit our program targets. Come in and take a look at the data, and if we have time, we'll rerun the program.
Hi, how are you? I'm just passing on your qualifying goals for this weekend.
10th or higher. Really now. Were you under a rock for 2 days, Emma? Why don't I ask you to beat Usain Bolt in the 100-meter and see how you like it? I started Q1 with a banker lap on mediums, planning to immediately put in a second hot lap and improve that time. I wasn't genuinely expecting to get to Q2 on those tires, but felt like it was a good warm-up that didn't waste any softs. Unfortunately, that warm-up got cut short as Mr. Eyebrows' McLaren forced me to shift my racing line, throwing me off balance in turn 3. I knew immediately that there was no regaining control, so I did my best to avoid totaling my car, and in the end only losing part of my front wing in the first real spin of my F1 career. By the end of Q1, it became clear that my first lap would not be enough, so I went out for a run on softs, ultimately landing cozily in the top 10.
You moved into P6 with that last lap?
I kept that same set of softs on my car for the first lap of Q2, once again preferring to do the banker on an older set. By the end of the session, when my original time dropped way out of the top 10, I drove out on a brand new set, not hoping for much more than damage control placement closer to 11th or 12th. To my complete surprise, my lap time gained me half a second just in the final corner, squeezed me into Q3, eliminating my rival and my teammate.
That's put you into P7, fourth row of the grid.
In Q3 it was just a pair of hot laps on the spare set of softs that Pirelli gave us that we'd have to turn in anyway, and since our previous lap was a pretty fast one, we charged into this one with full confidence. Cutting across the first two corners as much as we could, we charged the car into turn 3, being very careful on the throttle, not applying it to full until we were all the way at the exit of the corner. Shifting up to the 7th, we brake pretty late at the Alliance barrier, but turning in just enough in third gear to clip the inside of the curb and drift out to the outside, being very careful on the throttle and fighting the turbulence from the car in front. It's down a second for this corner, and we take it very carefully, watching the brakes on entry because this corner is notorious for making people block up and drift wide off the apex. We take it pretty well, getting a good exit and shooting into quite possibly the weakest part of the track for this car, this left and right-hander, taken in third gear. We managed it fairly well, but there's still quite strong understeer that makes us lose a lot of time, possibly from the turbulence from the car in front. Not an ideal situation, but it's the best we can do. In the green now, we get down to the hairpin at the end of the straight, taking it in first to try to get all that optimal turn in, which causes us to get a little bit of wheel spin, cutting across that curb, down a second here for that extra turn in, trying to get as good an exit as possible and not overshooting the braking zone for this corner, not riding off of the inside too much, and making sure not to cut these corners too hard, but just hard enough to not invalidate our lap time, biting off some exit curb, and full throttle onto the home straight for a time of 1:22.4, only 19 thousandths of improvement over our previous time.
Before we go, let's quickly remind ourselves of our top three, who are Rosberg, Raikkonen, and Lewis Hamilton. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. Good afternoon from a very familiar setting. It's race day here in Spain, and with everything still to play for in the championship battle, there's no room for mistakes in a Grand Prix that's well known for creating them. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Nico Rosberg will start his silver arrow from pole position, edging out Raikkonen, who'll start P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Vettel, a Haas, Bottas, Alonso, and Jenson Button, Kvyat, Perez, Esteban Gutierrez, and Hulkenberg, Sainz, Massa, Rio Haryanto, and Pascal Wehrlein, Magnussen, and Palmer, Felipe Nasser, and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid.
You're above where we expected on the grid. Be careful not to lose places, as there will be faster cars around you.
Feels like we beat Bolt. Does anybody have Satan on speed dial? Because you might want to ring him up and ask if it's all frozen over down there. Seriously, I have no idea how I qualified in 7th. In all seriousness, though, with tire wear as severe as it is for us, there's literally no chance for me to do a 2-stop here. It'll hurt our time, but the 3-stop at least we'll be able to sort of push. I'm seriously hoping for something similar to Bahrain, where all of our competitors on the main strategy jostle with each other and lose time while we can put in some clean laps and come out, well, I don't even know where. Close to the top 10 somewhere. We'll be faster during the last stint too, so maybe we'll be able to do some damage then. This is the closest I've come to conquering Spain. But the battle, that's still ahead of us.
The rest of the grid is forming up. Be patient and watch for the lights.
Okay. Oh, I should not have short-shifted like that. Actually, I had decent traction. Seems like everyone around us has gotten a really decent start for once. Got to be really careful in the first corner here. And that's a position gained, unless he tries to move around the outside. No, he may be in a Red Bull, but he's not an idiot. Man, I really feel the fuel load here. Really hard to adjust the start like that. Yep, really hard to adjust. Jesus! Silly Ricciardo, you're not Verstappen. You don't push people off the track. Whoever said that Barcelona was not an overtaking track has never put Mercedes power against a Haas that literally doesn't have the term corner exit in its thesaurus.
3 seconds.
Now, Sector 1 is our strong suit, but I'm actually curious to see if we can keep up with them through the rest of the circuit. That can do us some good, but the dirty air around here is not fake. Okay, so we can, in fact, keep pace with the Williams as long as we keep them in our slipstream. Provided we don't get held up on this pit stop, we should be able to warm up our softs quicker than he can warm up his mediums, at which point we can consider whether or not it's worth fighting for position.
Exit now. We're racing on the exit. Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tires. Gap to car in front is 0.9 seconds.
Alright, here we go. These tires are feeling pretty good. Gotta make up some ground through this section. The dirty air is definitely not fake, but the mechanical grip is still pulling through. How long can we make that last, though, is the question.
The gap behind us is 4.5 seconds.
I really can't afford to put this move off for much longer. I wonder if we can get it done from back here. Well then! In my home country, that is what we call sheeting the bed. What an interesting train we've got here. So it's Raikkonen who has a car problem, stuck behind a Red Bull that's slow on the straights, stuck behind a Renault that's slow everywhere. And this is where the Red Bull decides to do him. I mean, I get he's faster through the corners, but there's 16 of them on this track, and I literally couldn't think of a more dangerous one to do it in. Damn, I feel inspired. No, that's right. I'm not a Red Bull. That means I can actually try to jump these guys into the braking zone. Okay, dangerous, but legal. I'm going to give Raikkonen just enough space, but we got to sort him out now because the next couple of corners are in his favor. And that was dangerous and illegal. In my defense, I did literally leave him enough room for a single car if he stayed on the curb. Not sure how reasonable that is, but, well, yeah. I guess the stewards thought I was Verstappen for some reason. Not a single warning was issued that day. Okay, time to go away now, Renault. You'll be relevant in a couple years, I promise. I'm literally having a deja vu right now. Did I not just pass a Ferrari and a Renault? But no, these are literally the next guys up the road. And I've learned my lesson. I'll dive bomb them more carefully. And here I was getting excited about how quickly I'm catching up to and overtaking people, only to remember that I'm on softs and they're definitely not. Can we do it? Oh, what a move! That'll save us some time, that's for sure.
The pit window has opened.
Okay, Vince, so after this pit stop, the cars around you will be racing you to the finish. You will all have one stop left. I repeat, you will be racing them for position.
I guess now we find out how much the strategy set us back.
Go, go, go. We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
Okay, a Ferrari, that's a good sign. And a Zauber. I spoke too soon. Seriously, I feel like everyone's still really bunched up, despite the fact that we haven't had any safety cars or anything like that. I just really hope that my tires will let me gain back some time, especially during the final stint. Oh, Lord, a manor? How far back am I? Probably no higher than P20. Where the hell is everyone else? Where am I in the pack?
We are P19. Vettel is 7 seconds ahead of us. Your lap times have been all over the place these past couple of laps. Try to keep your head down, establish a rhythm, and we'll be able to gain some spots back.
This is starting to feel more and more like Australia than anything else. There's a Williams right behind me, and he's as screwed as I am. Why is there always at least a couple of front runners screwing up their own races and giving me false confidence in my own strategy?
Go now. Pit strategy complete. See these tires through to the end now.
Whoa! Either Williams can't afford tire blankets or their cars have no grip on cold tires whatsoever, or both. And he's on mediums as well, so it's actually pointless to race against him until maybe the final lap. Yeah. Please, sir, after you. No, I insist.
Caution, yellow flags ahead. No overtaking through the caution zone. Be careful until you see the greens.
Holy shit, stewards, make up your damn mind. Green and yellow and green and yellow. Didn't realize Wiz Khalifa was directing this race. I have such a good run on him. Damn it. Man, and how many races this season has Seb had his car blow up in? Oh, no. Take the position back, you shit. Take it back. Move your fat ass. Damn it. That illegal overtake ripped me in half. Not a chance I'll get DRS off the Williams now. And that, ladies and gents, is how races are lost.
Okay, we can see that the car ahead is running some damage to their front wing, but it doesn't seem to be affecting their performance.
Is Kvat running yet another race with yet another broken front wing? I mean, not that I mind, as long as he doesn't break it on me, that is. Let's close this guy down. I should have given him more space. Lifting off mid-corner doesn't do exit speed any favors. Oh, no, the last thing I need is a spin. Or is it? If we go, oh, might as well go out swinging. Damn, he's still holding on. Okay, got him. Thought for a second we traded paint on entry. That was spooky. Oh, what a train. I found literally everybody. Guess that's where all the cool kids hang out. But there aren't enough laps even for the Williams to reach it.
We advise moving to mix 2. Fuel to mix 2.
Obviously, I'm still trying to catch it, just in the off chance they go 3 wide through a corner and lose 5 or 6 seconds, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen. This race is pretty much a write-off. Yep, despite the couple of bare-knuckle overtakes, we really had no pace this time. The tire wear just didn't let us do a 2-stop, and that yellow flag completely demolished any chances of catching back up with tire advantage. Spain remains largely unconquered.
Okay, we're all a bit gutted with that result, but let's work hard and we'll get it together for the next race.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. Well, the lead at the top has come down after a poor result for our points leader. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the driver's table. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
It's got to be Jolyon Palmer. He was in another league for me today. Really impressive stuff.
On to the constructors then. Mercedes have extended their lead at the top of the standings. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improved their position in the championship. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
I love how Perez kicked my teeth in this race, and somehow, based on pure statistics, I still came out on top. Gotta love how people misinterpret numbers. Anyway, we're gonna throw one more upgrade on the to-do list before Monaco. Monaco. There's no telling how that's gonna turn out. One thing's for sure, I have to rebound there. I have to prove that I don't need luck to succeed. Better yet, I have to prove that I can succeed in spite of, and not because of, the circumstances. And if there's one Grand Prix on the calendar to do it, it's Monaco.